In this video, I'm going to be showing you the ThinkOrSwim trading platform, the main things you need to know about it, and really just how to kind of set it up and get used to using this platform if it's kind of your first time loading up the platform. So to start off, you have multiple key sections at the top here. You have monitor, you have trade, you have analyze, you have scan, you have market watch, charts, tools, education, and help. Now this is how you access basically everything within the platform. However, you won't really need to use every single one of these on a day-to-day basis. There's going to be about 2 or 3 that you're going to kind of regularly use, and so we'll go through all of them. So charts, going to be most likely the most important one because this is how you're going to see the charts that you're going to want to trade. So when you go onto the charts section, so again that's here, you have 3 headers again: charts, flexible grid, product depth. You're never really going to need product depth, so it's just going to be between charts and flexible grid. Now, these are basically the same. They just, again, give you access to look at charts. However, these don't really kind of follow each other. So what it means is, let's say you look at 2 kind of key time frames, that's where these 2 sections can be handy. So for example, on my chart section, you'll see this is where I use a daily chart, so the longer time frame. So if you're using any longer term indicators, or you just want to see the stock from a longer term basis, then that's what you can use this chart for an example. Then you can go over to flexible grid, and this is where you could potentially have your intraday charts. You can see over here again, I have my daily. Back on the flexible grid, then this is where I have my 1 minute chart. So this is where I'm going to see whatever I'm looking at from an intraday perspective. And so that's really where you can access your charts. You can add more or less. So again, if you're over on the chart section, you can add in, say, 5 charts, or you can make them really in any kind of areas you want. You can just set them up really just however you like. Same thing on flexible grid, however it's done slightly different. You go over to customize grid, and then you can kind of press this button. This will make something to the side. Again, if you press this button, it will go down to the bottom. So you can have a chart here, and you've obviously got your chart here. And then you can also remove one by pressing that button there. Now, what I want to show you is one other thing you can do on these charts, because they don't just have to be charts. So if we, for example, just go to Home Depot, any stock, doesn't really matter. What you'll see is we have a lot of headings down the side here, and these are other things traders may use when they're trading. So you have lots of things to use down here. You have trade. So again, trade will kind of open up this. You can kind of ignore this. You probably won't use that too much. You have time and sales. Again, this will show you all the transactions on the stock that's going through, the time it goes through, the price that it goes through, and the quantity that go through. Then you have active trader. This is basically where you can buy, or you basically place your orders. So again, if we sit here, it'll place a limit order to buy there. If we go to the right, we place a limit order there. Again, it's just going to buy or sell, but it allows you kind of to do it here. Sorry for all the notifications on the left. Up here, we will go through these because these are what are called alerts, but we'll go over those in a second. Then you have option chain. So again, if you're an options trader, this is where you can access all of the options that you want to trade. But again, there's somewhere else to access this, which is where we will actually go through. Then you have phase, growth phase. We don't actually really care too much about that. You probably won't use that. This is called dashboard. Again, this kind of just lets you market buy, market sell. If you use that, again, not personally something I use. Level 2. So this is just going to show you where buyers and sellers are sitting. So again, there's buyers sitting on this bid, this bid, this bid. That's the price and that's the quantity there. And the same, this is where sellers are sitting. That's the ask. That's the quantity. And again, that's going to be the exchange they're on. But if you don't really know what this is, again, you're not going to use it as of right now, but I'm just letting you know the feature is there. And lastly, live news. This is probably something you're more likely to use. Again, this is just showing you the news related to whatever ticker is here. This is showing you the news related to that stock. So those are all the headings you can get over here. So again, it might mean you want a chart paired with some news. Or you might want a chart paired with news. And then you might also want, say, an active trader, so you can also buy and sell. So again, there's a lot of things you can put there and use it as you like. Now, one last thing I want to kind of go over while on the charts page is this kind of one here, and there's nothing here. So what this will do is basically link these tabs together. So for example, we have Disney chart up now, and we have Home Depot over here. For example, if we are putting a stock here because we're looking at the chart, but we want to know what the news is for that stock, what we want to do is link these two charts together. So what you do is here you can see we've selected 1. So you would select 1 or whatever number you want to select. Then you also need to go over to this one. You select 1, and then you'll see this changes to Disney because now these two charts are linked together. So now if we go over to Home Depot goes on both of those. We want Domino's Pizza, that goes on both of those. Apple goes to both of them. So it will just link these charts together. So whatever you put here will also show you the news or whatever you have on this chart over here. So again, if you have level 2, it's going to update the level 2 to Apple's level 2. So that's the charts, how you access them over here. You can make some changes to these. So again, do you want to fit the price high or low? You can do that over here. Time axes, again, you can change the time frame over here. The expansion area, so that is how what kind of blank space is left there. Again, if you want to change your candlestick colors, if you don't use the normal red, green, and white for dojis, again, you can kind of come in here and change them to white and black or whatever kind of color combos you prefer. Equities, when you come over to here, again, this is individual stocks. You can come over here and put extended hours if you want to trade extended hours. And again, you can have these highlighted. So you can see here, this is pre-market trading. This is now in gray. You can do the same for options. You can do the same for futures, and you can do the same, or you can't do the same for Forex. You can do the same for these three, depending which ones you're looking at and whether you want or don't want extended hours. So that is the chart section covered. Now, Market Watch. This is where you have alerts. So this is what, remember over in this left corner when you were seeing all these blue things with prices coming up over here. This is when you set alerts on certain stocks. They will notify you and also show you in this tab here. So you can see over here, I go over to triggered. And you can see we'll go over this Costco one. So Cisco. Market above $48 and it's been triggered. So if we go over to that stock, what you'll see is that stock has gone above $48. So $48 is here. You can see if we zoom out, yesterday we were $48 was here. We didn't quite hit it yesterday during trading hours, but we did today. So the alert went off to notify us as a trader that our price is now where we want it. And if you want to set these up, all you would do is you would right click, you do create alert, and set it at the price you want. So for example, on Cisco, if I want to be notified when it breaks $52, I just put 52 there and is above $52. So we do that. And the same thing on the other side. If we want to get notified when Cisco is maybe coming down, maybe we want to know when it drops below $48, you right click, create alert, again, change this down to $48. And what you want to do is now change this. Normally it will be at or above, because we want to know when it comes to $48 or below, you just change this to at or below. So again, that will do the same thing. Now we're going to be notified when Cisco either breaks $52 or breaks below $43.75. And that was actually meant to be 48, wasn't it? Oh no, that's a different alert. Sorry, that alert was there. So yeah, and we'll also be notified if it breaks below 48. So again, these will all show under the alert tab over here. One other thing you may use if you're someone who likes heat maps, again, that's just going to be under this visualize tab, which obviously you can see all there. You can pick the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or whatever kind of heat maps you like to use. Next is the scan section. This is where you're going to get your scanners. So for example, if you're a gap trader or you want to scan for something like that, you put in your criteria for your scan over here. So for example, here I have the stock price range. Over here, I have the volume that the stock needs to be doing at a minimum to be able to pop up in the scan, and then percentage change, because again, it's a gap strategy. I want to be notified when it's only above a 5% gap or a 5% move. So again, what this scan is basically telling you is it has to be a minimum of $1 a share and no more than $250 a share. It has to have at least 1 million shares traded. There's no upside, so unlimited shares traded. And it has to have a minimum gap move of 5%. And again, there's no upside on that. So that is the scan. And then in this case, I don't think there's actually anything to find as of right now. But when you click scan, it will show you all these stocks over here. And so you can see what you want to be looking at. Next, you have analyze, but I'll go over that in a second, because what we're going to look at first is trade. So if you're an options trader, you're going to come over here, and this is where you can find all the options that you can trade. So, for example, go to Apple for this. You can see the options that expire, for example, this Friday. We can see a 225 call. You can send this to your main chart. So again, you know where we had this as 1. If we send this to chart 1, what you'll see is we go over here, and now this shows us the chart for the option. So that's one thing you can do. Now, one last thing I want to go through before we finish this video then is how we can kind of analyze risk on these trades. So if you do right click on this, analyze, buy trade, and then for example just say we're buying this, what this will do is go over to risk profile. This will show you your max risk, your max loss. So this is buying a Apple call at 225, and again we're paying $67 for this. So as we know, calls, you have, if you're buying it, you have a defined risk, unlimited upside. And that's exactly what this risk profile is going to show you. No matter how low the price goes, your risk is $63, or in this case, if we do it now, 64, we can just lock it so it doesn't keep changing. $66, because that's what you're going to pay for it. That's our max risk. Now you can see if price pushes up, what kind of profit are we going to be at each price? So if Apple goes to 230, we're going to be up $432. If it goes up to 250, we're going to be up 2,400. So that's how you use the Analyze tab to show you both your risk and your reward. So that is the main breakdown on the ThinkOrSwim platform. I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see you in further videos.